بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين بالقاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Let us recite Surah Al-Fatiha for tonight's dinner sponsors and all your marhumin, all marhumat, all deceased and martyrs of Islam. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم الضالين. قال الله جل وعلا في محكم كتابه الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين ونعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Holy Quran in Surah Yasin verses 60 and 61. He says, did we not take an oath from you, O children of Adam, that you shall not serve Satan? He is your open enemy, and that you shall serve me, and this is the straight path. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Inshallah, today we are going to be concluding our subject that we have been speaking about for the past 13 days, which is shaitan and how he misguides mankind. Of course, the battle with shaitan is a never-ending story, and there's so many more things to say about this battle that we go through on a daily basis. However, I will mention a few, try to conclude this subject today, and maybe give a little bit of insight of how shaitan is deceiving us now, or as he is trying to deceive us, and the plots and the plays that he's trying to use against us to really keep us away from the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you find that when we are reciting this verse of the Holy Quran, verses 60 and 61 of Surah Yasin, we say, we give an oath, we have given an oath to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are recognizing Allah's command that He is telling us and informing us in the Quran that shaitan is your open enemy. He's your open enemy. Stay away from shaitan. And to worship me, this is the straight path. And we have been focusing, alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah, our main focus every single day that we have been coming here, and when we have come here to discuss this subject, we have come to discuss this Sirat al-Mustaqim. And we have focused on Sirat al-Mustaqim. It's because that when shaitan, we said that when we Google the address of shaitan, what do we find? Where is he sitting? Where is he living? Yeah, he's living in downtown? No, he's living on Sirat al-Mustaqim. That's his real estate. You know, he knows because the real estate on Sirat al-Mustaqim is the most expensive one. So he's going to go and sit there. And we said, where are the places of Sirat al-Mustaqim? We said they are the Islamic centers, they are the Islamic symbols, anything that has to do with Islam, he is going to be there. Why? Because Islam is the final religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet that was sent to deliver the message of Islam was also the greatest of prophets. Because you find, like for example, in the Olympics, when they do the relay races, and you have the batons that are passed from one person to the other, who is the one who is going to run, the last one who's going to run? Is he the slowest or is he the fastest? He's the fastest. And this is why our beloved Prophet Muhammad he was the last one that was sent because he was the fastest. He came the last one to complete and summarize everything like I am doing today about my subject. Allah sent him to summarize the message of the 124,000 prophets that were sent to mankind. He was the one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose him. So, my point that I'm trying to make here is, before I go into the conclusion, is that the reason why Islam is the religion that is being attacked most as we speak today, it's because that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed all the tricks of shaitan, all the plots, and He has given us the tools from the Holy Quran and examples from the Ahlul Bayt that personified the Holy Quran to protect ourselves and to defend ourselves from his attacks against us. This is why it's shaitan that is coming and that is attacking Islam. Don't look at that human being. Look at to who is behind that. And that's why you'll see when we come and we'll be concluding, you'll find I always mention and tell you to not look at that person, but look to the ilm of that person. Because we come and respect an alim because of the ilm that he carries, not because of the size of his imamah. We come and respect you because you carry the ilm of Ahlul Bayt. Salamullahi alayhim. So we said yesterday that when the shaitan, he comes and he entices us to commit that sin. It's the same thing when you see a billboard, for example. You're driving and the iced tea, for example, is enticing you to go inside and to get one. It's inviting you. And this is what shaitan does. He invites you to come. And this is what society does as well. The society around us, we said yes, we may live in an evil society. Wherever we go, we see evil. And even if we don't want to see it, it's there. However, we came and we stressed the point that it's not society that we have to come and blame. It's not shaitan that we have to come and blame. But we have to come and look ourselves in the mirror and look to our nafs. Because we said that during the time of Qabil and Habil, there was no society. There was no Facebook. There was no social media. There was no news or TV commercials or HBO or any of these channels. There wasn't anything there. There was no society. There were only 4 people there. But you find that what did Qabil do? He killed his brother. Why? How? What was his influence? What was the evil influence? The evil influence was his own nafs. His nafs is the one, yes, maybe shaitan was inviting him, but his nafs is the one that pushed him to commit that sin. So, now we come to the second point that I want to make today in our conclusion of the subject of shaitan and how he misguides mankind. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So, you find that we said that shaitan, he comes and he sits on that Salat al-Mustaqim. Now, who does shaitan come to? Shaitan comes to those, not only the ones that are coming to Salat al-Mustaqim, but once you have decided, say for example your parents have been coming and knocking on your door every single day, wake up for namaz, wake up for namaz, wake up for namaz. And every time you wake up for namaz, it's because you want to get that allowance at the end of the week. Or you want them to buy you that PlayStation game. So that's why you wake up for namaz. But let's say that day came in which you woke up before your parents decided to come and to knock on that door. You're the one who went and woke up your parents for namaz. You didn't go and knock on their door, but you went to their side and you're like, Father, it's time for namaz. Or maybe you recited the adhan and you made your parents hear the adhan that you were reciting. That's how you woke them up. You didn't come and take a glass of water and throw it on their face. Wake up for namaz. No, you recited the adhan and you invited them. Don't take this idea and go and do it. Okay, but take the idea of reciting the adhan. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala. So shaitan will come to you once you decide to be the one that is reciting the adhan to call your parents. Once you decide to go on that sirat al-mustaqim, to follow that path, he will come to you. And he won't just come to anyone. Like for example, these people that are misled, they go to all these bad places. He doesn't go to them because he knows they're misguided and he doesn't deal with them. He sends his little guys to go there. But if you decide to take Sirat al-Mustaqim, he will come to you personally. He will come to you. And if he comes to you and he sees you, send my regards to him. Because that means you are a true muttaqi and you are a true mu'min. He will come to you personally. So, now how does he block our straight path? How does he misguide the people? We spoke about the weapons that he uses, the hasad, and how to use your intellect in the face of the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we spoke about his attributes and Allah's path and shaitan's path. We already spoke about all these things. But today, I want to speak about and focus on what does he do to come and to block this straight path. How does he do it? Well, you find that whatever the symbol of Islam is and the means to reach Allah, he will come and use that against you. Like, what do I mean by that? For example, the symbol, of Islam, the concept of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You find that before the people believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, shaitan he never came to try to mislead the people by the concept of God itself before it was established. But you find once it was established, he came and he tried to put forth false gods. And when the concept of God was not very clear, for example, in the time of Nabi Musa, for example, when Nabi Musa came and he tried to establish the idea of worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Prophet Adam, this was his whole goal by trying to educate his children about the belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you find during the time of Nabi Nuh, 9 generations after Nabi Adam, that concept wasn't even there. Allah just told them, I don't want you to go to the valley. I want you to stay here in the mountain. But they all went in the valley, and that's why he went and he preached for 900 years. Then you find that Nabi Ibrahim, he came and he established the idea of the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why they call him the father of Tawheed. So he established the oneness of Allah. So once the establishment was made of the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, shaitan, he came. But he couldn't come and say that Allah does not exist. What did he come and say? He says, okay, Allah exists, but who is he? For example, in the time of Nabi Musa, you find that the people came, they didn't believe, that he was the prophet of Allah. They're like, show us something, show us a miracle or something. So you find that, he went up, and he stayed there for, he was supposed to stay there for 30 days. But Allah wanted to test the people, so he stayed there for an extra 10 days, right? So you find the 31st day came, okay? The people came, they started questioning Nabi Musa. Nabi Musa, he's a prophet of Allah. He doesn't lie. He said he was going to be there for 30 days. Now it's the 31st day. Okay. So they started questioning. One person, he came forth and he said, Prophet Musa, he doesn't lie. So he must be dead. Okay, so he said there is a God, but who is the God? So what did he do? He went and he made a cow out of gold. And he said, هَذَا إِلَهُكُمْ وَإِلَهُ مُوسَى. This is your Lord. This is who you should worship and come. Why? Because the concept of the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and who God is was vague, wasn't clear, wasn't made clear. That's why they also came forth and said that, okay, this cow is God and this date is God as well. And that way when you find when the date does not do what they want, they eat it. Alhamdulillah, we don't worship the date, but we eat the date. صلى على محمد وعلى. So you find that the concept of God, the existence of God, shaitan will come and he won't attack the concept of itself, the existence of God, because if he does, people will laugh at him, because all of the prophets worked very hard to establish this. So okay, the existence of God has been established. Okay? So he will come and he will play with your ideology. If your ideology is not strong and it's not deep, this is where shaitan comes to you. And this is why you find that when it came to establish the idea of prophethood, we had Allah, then prophethood, to establish the idea that I am the prophet of Allah. You find that shaitan did not question prophethood, but he came and he started pushing out false prophets. And you find that there was a lady false prophet that came out during the time of the prophet, and a man also that was a false prophet. And I wanted to go into the details, but I have to conclude today. But the thing that I found out is that they got into an argument. Actually they got into a competition. And one person was saying, yeah, I have created, I have been sent, as a messenger, this and that. And the woman, she said the same thing. And then they decided to make a deal between them, 50-50, of the power and the shares and everything. And then I heard at the end of the day they got married. That's what happened to those false prophets. But anyways, so when you have a prophet, shaitan will come and bring out false prophets. Now we come to the Imams, salamullahi alayhim. You find that the Imams, they were, when it came time for the Imams, for example, for our first Imam, Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam, you found that no one came to claim that he was an Imam during that time. Now Khalifa is something else, an Imam we're talking about. No one came to claim to be an Imam. You find the same time during the second Imam and the third Imam, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. Of course, no one wanted to come and be in the position of Imam Hussein, because he went to Karbala with only 72 and he got slaughtered compared to the army that he was facing. So it was always doomsday, always bad news, bad news, bad news. No one wanted to come. You find that only during the time of our sixth Imam, salamullahi alayhi, Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salatu, you find that you had some people who came forth and they were claiming imamah. Why? Because now it has to do with money. It has to do with khumus. So once it has to do with khumus, all of a sudden everybody wants to become an imam. And this is the case, unfortunately, that you find today. If you go to certain places, you'll find that the reason why these people are going into studies, for example, Hausa studies or Islamic studies, it's because of the khumus issue. That if I put this turban on me, I don't have to do anything. It's an easy job. All I have to do is sit down, people will give me their money. It's the money. It's all about the money. That's when you put on the turban. So, in other words, people wanted to become imams during the time of the imams because it had to do with money. There was some certain materialistic gain behind it. So you find that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala came out the idea of imamah, shaitan, he came to fight imamah by throwing out false imams. We said false gods, false prophets, false imams. Now, we have our imam, our 12th imam in Ghaibah, Ajrallahu ta'ala farajah sharif. And we said that wherever you find the symbol of Islam, that's where shaitan is going to come. So now the imam is in Ghaibah. Who is the symbol of Islam? We have our ulama. We have our maraja. So we said that if the shaitan, he brought forth false gods and false prophets and false imams, you don't think he's not going to bring forth false maraja? Or false alims, or false people that claim that they are the representatives or they are the servants of Abu Abdullah, but they're not? Brother, shaitan brought forth false gods and false prophets and false imams. You may tell me, oh, how can you say this about this marja'? He's a marja'. His imamah is so big. Yes, he's a marja', and he's written this many books, and he's done so many things, and so on, and so forth. Brother, shaitan brought forth false prophets. Yani now you're going to come and say the marja' is bigger than the prophet? Is better than the imam? This is what he did. So we come and we say that now since the imam is in Ghaibah, what is shaitan going to do? He's going to bring forth false ulama. And this is where your iman and your faith comes into play, comes into practice. How do you know that you are a faithful person and you have iman, you have strong iman? How do you know? You know when you can tell the difference between a real alim and a fake alim. That's how you know that you've been practicing your faith the right way every single day of your life. Because you won't be tricked and you won't be fooled. Just like how they say, whoever learned the language of a people will not be fooled by them. Why? Because you understand what they are telling you. But if you don't understand that language, how are you going to know what they're telling you? If they're speaking good or bad about you? You're not going to know. So the same thing applies with a mu'min. You have to know the tricks of shaitan, the language of shaitan. How he comes and he tries to speak to you, or the tools and the tricks that he tries to come and to use to deceive you. So how can we know a real alim from a fake alim? There are many ways that you can come and see the difference of a real alim and a fake alim. For example, before the Prophet became a Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you found that all the people, what did they recognize? They recognized his akhlaq and his character. And he said, it's mentioned in all the hadith in the Quran, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. I was sent to perfect the moral values of the human being. And before he said that, his whole life, he showed it to the people. This is who he was. And this is why if you come and you understand that you are not made a prophet, but you are born a prophet, then you will know that an alim cannot be an alim unless it shows through his character. So this is how you know. We know that a prophet was a prophet because of his character and his obedience, his flawless obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the same thing that applies to Ahlul Bayt, salamullahi alayhim. So if we want to come and we want to discover how can we know the difference between a real alim and a fake alim, what are you going to do? Are you going to come and look at the size of his imamah, how big his turban is? Yeah, the bigger the turban is, the more knowledge that he has, right? Or the bigger the beard, the better the knowledge he has, the deeper knowledge that he has. I mean, anyone can buy an imamah. Let's be honest here. I mean, all you have to do is just go to Walmart. It costs $9.99. Anyone can go and wear it and put it on his head. Or you can go and buy that robe. Anyone can wear it and go out in the street. I've seen many of those. Like for example, I'm from LA. You go on Hollywood Boulevard, you see there's like 5 Spider-Mans. Everyone's wearing the Spider-Man. There's only one Spider-Man, and it just happens to be, you have some overage, some overweighted Spider-Mans, that shouldn't really be Spider-Mans. So the point that I'm trying to make here is anyone can be a Spider-Man, a Batman, or anyone can claim that he is a scholar just by the clothes that he wears. But you find, what does our Holy Prophet say, the criteria of a believing Muslim, the way that he is and the way that he carries himself, is you find that during the time of the Holy Prophet, when the Prophet used to go amongst the people, he used to be dressed like the people were dressed in society. So the people during his time, they're wearing turbans and they're wearing that. That was the dress. That was the culture during that time. And, coming to our culture here, the common clothes that you wear is the jeans and the shirt and some tennis shoes. That's the common clothes. So a real scholar and a real alim is going to try to be so humble. A real alim is not the one that comes and says, I am an alim, you have to follow me. I am this, I am this, I am that. And you have many examples. Because the idea is once you gain that knowledge and you become knowledgeable, the more knowledge you gain, the more humble you should become. Because you've discovered how insignificant you are as a person, and where you stand in the universe, how you are just a small dot compared to the rest of the universe around you. For example, how many of you have been to a beach, for example? You don't have to raise your hand. Just keep it to yourself. It's okay. I mean, for example, we went to the lake. Today, brother, he took me to the lake. Okay, let's not give the example of the beach, of the lake, for example. Or the example of an ocean. How many of you have been to an ocean? Right? Most of you have been to an ocean. When you look at the ocean from a far distance, right, you see it as like beautiful, and you see it as maybe small. You don't recognize how big it is. But once you take that boat ride into the ocean and you look around you, it's all ocean. You don't see anything but the ocean. So when you first started, you thought it was something small. But when you went inside and you realized everything around you was an ocean, and how deep that ocean is, you came to the realization of how small you are, or what you thought about that. Same thing with knowledge. The more knowledge you gain, the more humble you should become. And just talking about knowledge itself, you find that our Imams, salamullahi alayhim, and I have to conclude, you find that our Imams, for example, our Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salatu wassalam, you find that our fourth Imam, what did he do when he seen a student that was gaining knowledge of Islam? A student that was studying his house of studies. What did he do? This is the fourth Imam. When he seen that student walk through that door, he stood up in respect to him because of the ilm that he was carrying. Because of the ilm, the knowledge that he was gaining, that's why he stood in respect for that. Not because of how big he was, or his reputation, or any of these things, materialistic things, how he looked, all these things. No, it's because of the ilm that he was carrying. So the Imam, he used to stand up in respect to that knowledge and ilm. Now, when we come to the signs of an alim, we come to the sign of an alim you find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions one of the signs of an alim. What is it? إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهِ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that the alim, that the ones who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who have the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in their hearts, are the ones that are the true alims, who are God-fearing. And the mu'min will easily see who is that one that fears Allah and who is that one who doesn't fear Allah. Very clear, very obvious. And this is the power that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to the mu'min and to the believer. There is a hadith from Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. He said, be afraid of the one who has no helper but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, you see that homeless person walking down the street. You think that she is helpless. She doesn't have anyone in this world. Or that man, or that homeless man walking, he has nothing. I can go and make fun of him, for example. I can go throw something at him and laugh at him, make a joke at him, because he has no one. But the reality of it is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there to protect him. This is the holy insurance that Allah gives to the mu'mineen. This is the holy insurance that Allah gives to the human being. That yes, you may think you are alone, but I am here for you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the opportunity in this holy month of Ramadan. What does He say? He says, "Ad'uni astajib lakum." Just ask me and I will return your favor. So if there's something that you wanted, that you dream of having, anything it is, whatever it is, and don't let it just be materialistic. Let it have something to do with your akhirah. And this is why when we come and we are talking about the qualities and the signs of an alim, we come and we say that the credit, when you become this knowledge that you have gained, if you are a true scholar and you are a true alim, you will never come and try to get that credit. For example, you have many people in other communities, they come forth and they said, oh, I have done this for you for 18 years, for example. For 20 years I have served this community, and this is how you treat me? Brother, with all due respect to you, with all due respect and the black turban that you are wearing, did you do this? Who did you do it for? Did you do it for the people? Or did you do it for Allah? If you did it for the people, then you shouldn't expect anything. And if you did it for Allah, then your reward is in the hereafter. When we do something, we do it for the sake of Allah. This is why we say before we begin our salah, إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. That everything that I do is for the sake of you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I don't do it to gain any recognition from a human being. You find that Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, and we will conclude with this inshallah. You find that when the Imam came, who was this Imam? This Imam who lifted the door of Khaybar, in which when the Prophet was there for 40 days, no one came and conquered the fort like he came and did it. The Imam, what did he do? He lifted the door of Khaybar, in which that door 70 people or more could not lift. He lifted it. Okay? He came and he said, what did he say? When they came, they said, oh Imam, mashallah, you did this great feat, you accomplished this great task. What did he say? Did he say, yes, I'm better than you, I had, bigger muscles than you, I was more knowledgeable than you, I inherited the knowledge of the prophets, and I was, Rasulullah's bodyguard, and he sent me there on all those battles, and I was this heroic warrior. Did he say any of these things? What did he say? He said that when I came and I lifted that door of Khaybar. What did he say? He said, يوم خلقت باب خيبر ما خلقتها بقوة جسمانية بل بقوة ربانية. When I came and I lifted that door of Khaybar, I did not lift it with my own power, but I lifted it through the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If our Imam, who has been appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, did not come and claim the credits for that great victory, then who am I to come and take credit? Who am I as the weak human being who is nothing compared to the souls of the Imams to come and to take credit when all the credit is deserved to Allah and Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. And of course there's so much more to say, but to conclude in these 2 minutes that I have is that if a person had ilm and he had ma'rifah, he would know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was the one making him do it. If you have ma'rifah and you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just be thankful that Allah chose you to be His example to mankind. Thank Allah just for that. So if you have true ma'rifah and you have true ilm and knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you'll know that you don't deserve the credit anyways. Because all of this credit goes to Him. He gave you the power to do it. Just like how He gave the power to our Imam. The Imams are the greatest examples to mankind. The Prophets, all of them, they never took credit for anything. And this is why you find when you go and you look at the NBA or you look at the NFL, you look up to those players who are the most humble players. You like those players because they're humble. They're not show-offs. No one likes a show-off. No one likes someone who's arrogant, who shows off, who comes and talks a lot of talk. But when it comes to playing the game, showing his, moves on the court, when someone comes tells you, I'm, better than you, I can beat you in basketball, for example, I'll come and I'll say, like to Rizwan, you'll beat me for sure, so I'll never come and say that to him, for example, but maybe someone else, but you have to prove it. And we're going to talk about this tomorrow for the wilada of Imam Hassan alayhi salatu wasalam. And then the injustice that was done to him and how he had to prove still to the people that he was an Imam. So I come and I conclude and I say that, we've spoken about shaitan and how he misguides mankind and the tricks and the plots that he uses to come to try to deceive us from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we mentioned all of these things so we can understand and learn how we can defend ourselves against the attacks of shaitan. And we came and we gave many examples of the prophets and the imams and so on and so forth. And today we spoke about examples in reality and how we can better understand the difference between a real alim and a fake alim. And just to bring everything into perspective, for example, in this community, you find that there are certain individuals in this community. For example, when I look at a community, I don't look at the 1,000, for example, of that community, 1,000 members of that community. I look at the ones who are doing the work. The ones that come maybe an hour before, that prepare everything downstairs before all of us come here to eat. Those people, they come out of their own time. They have families, they have businesses, they all have responsibilities, just like me and you. But these are the people that take out the time to come and to prepare everything. We should be like those people. We should aspire to be like those people. We should encourage our youngsters and our elders. Everyone that you see around you, smile to the person sitting next to you. Is it going to hurt you if you smile? Is it going to hurt you if you crack a joke to the person standing next to you? Make him feel good. He's coming to the mosque. You're coming to the best place that you can ever come to. Smile, laugh, have fun. Islam is about having fun. Enjoy your life. When I'm sitting on this minbar, I am enjoying it. I love what I do. I love to serve Allah. I love to serve Ahlul Bayt. It's my passion. I love to do it. Now, I don't expect anything in return because I love doing it. I can do it anytime, any day. I love doing it. I do it on my free time. I do it here. So this is how we should be. We should be fun people. Look at the people. There's a Cardinals game going on right now as we speak. They're having fun. They're watching the game. How much preparation goes into watching that game? Into going there, having fun. So when we come here, we should have fun and make a fun experience for everyone. So inshallah, I'll see more smiling people and more laughing people. Inshallah, when I come in, don't frown, smile. If you don't know how to smile, practice it in the mirror. So inshallah, I conclude with that. And tomorrow, inshallah, I want all of you to come and all of you to bring your family and friends because we have a great celebration for the wiladah of the Imam. And I have some anashid, some Islamic songs I'm going to sing to you in English. And I'm going to make you clap. Inshallah. There's going to be a lot of clapping involved, inshallah. I know I've made you cry a few times, but now I'm going to make you laugh. Inshallah, all your days are filled with happiness and excitement. And I wish you all success, inshallah. We hope to see you tomorrow is my last day, inshallah. So I conclude with that. Let us recite Surah Al-Fatiha for Zakra Begum. Say it right? Zakra Begum. And Afsar Jah, yes, and Sayyid Razi, and all your deceased, all your marhumin, marhumat, all your martyrs, all the martyrs of Islam, especially the ones now that are there protecting our maraja', protecting Sayyid Ali Sistani. May Allah lengthen his life and protect him from all evil, Ya Allah, and protect all of our maraja' around the world. And to really bless this community. It's been a great experience for me here. And alhamdulillah, I thank Allah for giving me this opportunity to serve you and to serve your community. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us more opportunities to serve Him and to allow us to strengthen our relationship with Him and to make us amongst the helpers of the Imam when he returns. And with that, I'd like to all to recite the Surah Al-Fatiha for the founders. I heard that the father of your father was the founder. What was his name?
Sayyid Zahir Abbas.
Sayyid Zahir Abbas. So let's include him as well with the sponsors of tonight. He founded this great institution. And for all those brothers who come out of their own time to prepare, and for the sisters as well who are working behind the scenes to bring us this good food. I thank you so much for that. With that said, let us recite Surah Al-Fatiha, and before that, 3 loud salawats ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ya Allah.
Just. Oh.